Welcome to the Ultra World Podcast, the soccer fan's voice from the stands, with your hosts, Marc and Sean Castles, from Radio Wave Studios in New York City.
Well, hi again, everyone. Sean Castles from the Ultra World Podcast. We are outside of the Football Factory at Legends, where there is a huge crowd for the Champions League final, PSG versus Arsenal, and we're going to ask people, what do they think about this past season? What are the positives? What are the negatives? And also, what are they thinking about the upcoming World Cup? Who's their team, their favorite player, and why? Come on, let's go and ask.
Wait. Whoa. Sean Castles, a one-man show, again, after he promised it would never happen again. Dude, you have become this generation's Sol Campbell, for goodness sake. What in the world? Oh, yeah,
Wait.
Go ahead, yeah.
You're here?
Yes, I'm here. This is how it works. This is what a partnership is.
I didn't expect it. It was like you appeared out of the ether there.
Yes, I just materialized like I dream of Genie. The bottle was open and I vaporized and now I'm here.
And now I got to find out who the hell Sol Campbell is.
He is this generation's Benedict Arnold of English football, who defected, so to speak, from Tottenham to Arsenal 25 years ago, and then in his first year with the Gunners, won a trophy.
All right, Tottenham fans, do not take that to heart there.
No, they should. They should be very angry at you.
Very angry. The Arsenal fans love me, and that's the most important thing there. It's great to have you here because we're recapping the season. We're doing a little recap, a little positive.
Well, thanks for having me on my own show.
We're glad you could make an appearance here. What would you say was your best part of the season?
Honestly, the best part was getting to know so many supporters groups and trying to find the football family. I really am still looking, but we had some great experiences with a whole bunch of different clubs, which was great. And I go all the way back to when we first launched this idea during the Club World Cup last summer and getting to hang out with some of the players and some of the fan bases at the American Dream Mall when they were doing the fan fest for the Premier League and getting ready for the Club World Cup and hanging out at Legends with the Fluminense crowd the first day. That was just off the charts.
No one disappointed. Everyone was fantastic. And while we haven't picked our football family yet, I feel like I'm part of this greater football family overall, like a universal football family as opposed to just one team's. I do have one bad thing, though. Girona got dropped down.
Yeah.
Girona's dropped down a level, and the dream is over. It's very sad. So that is one dark thing from this past season. But, part of our recapping here is also talking about the first time that we went to a game together. We went to the Red Lion.
Yes.
Brentford Bees, Charlie Core. And I got Charlie to kind of give his thoughts on the season here. So let's take a listen to that.
I would say the best part of this past football season for Brentford, for me personally, was being able to go back to West London. I was there for the Brentford win over defending champion Liverpool. Everything happened in that game. All the key guys on the front line scored. Jordan Henderson had a great assist. Michael Coyote had one of his patented throw-ins. It's one of those games where even Keith Andrews singled it out as probably one of the bigger moments of the season. So it was nice to get back to West London. I hadn't seen them in over a decade in person. So it was nice to be among those festivities, and they delivered really well in that regard. The other thing was off the field for me. Owner Matthew Benham actually joined us in Manhattan at our pub, the Red Lion, for a midweek FA Cup match. It was one of those things where we had about a dozen people on hand. We could have drawn more, certainly, if we thought it was 100% that Matthew was going to show up. We weren't very clear if it was, we knew it was on his itinerary, but we were not sure if it was going to be there because let's face it, a lot of other owners wouldn't do something like this. So lo and behold, 10 minutes into our midweek match, he showed up and he hung out with us for the duration of the game, took a photo with us, and it was one of those special moments that I'll definitely never forget.
And, we had so much fun with Charlie and the Bees that first weekend of the regular season. That was awesome. And, the best part of that for me, Sean, getting back to the Red Lion, a place that I had frequented back in my post-college days, was like walking into a time capsule. It hasn't changed all that much, right down to the phone booth still inside.
That's right. It was beautiful. It was very red. It was
Yes.
very red.
Yes, it was.
And Charlie put on a great show, but that also brings me back to our other place we went to visit. We went to see the legend Jack Keane at Legends.
And that might have surpassed everything from an individual standpoint. Just the fact that he has been so instrumental and so under the radar. Not a lot of people, when we talked to him about what he had done to bring English football to the bars in New York City, there were not a lot of people who knew that story. I think we educated a whole different demographic with that episode, and it was just awesome to talk to him and to even have the chance to chat with him on a Saturday morning. Fortunately, for us, it was a snowy Saturday, and it kept a lot of people away from Legends, but talking to the legend himself was just an experience I'll never forget.
If we didn't have that snow day, I don't think we'd get his time, because Legends is usually packed. And I can speak for that because I went back for the Champions League game by myself. And it was completely packed. There was no room. Even the bar next door had so many people that they were counting people to come in. But it was so packed that I got to meet a lot of people outside and ask them, what do they think of this past season?
I'm a fan of Corinthians.
All right.
Why Corinthians?
And Corinthians. That's
Yes.
okay. We haven't had a Corinthians fan on here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I actually like Memphis Depay a lot. I'm a big
Yeah.
Memphis fan. What was your favorite thing from this past season?
So I would say there's a lot of things I liked about this season, but Corinthians, we won a lot. We have high hopes for next season. We got Gabriel Paulista, big center back. We have, I think
Martinelli goal against Man City.
Nice one.
winning the Prem.
For
Arsenal.
There we go. And
Man City win the double.
good one. So we got a little back and forth there. A little back and forth. He's gonna. So you guys have maintained your friendship despite that.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm not family, but I'm tolerating them.
Seen a lot of the youth side, a lot of academy players being featured in the main team, and we saw a lot of potential, So that was a good thing to see, So I think with that policy, we're gonna be seeing more of growth.
Oh gosh, I am not a huge soccer fan. I love the sport,
Okay.
but I'm so Americanized. Like I grew up with NFL football, so I could never keep up with the amount of games, the amount of leagues. But my really good friend Tito, he's a big PSG fan.
Okay.
So I had to come out and support him.
Okay.
But one of my best friends from college, yeah, he's a big Arsenal fan.
He's a big Arsenal.
So,
It's a title match.
Yeah, so all my group chats were blowing up, and I was like, I'm not from New York, and one of my favorite things about New York City is soccer games at pubs in New York. I love how it's so international, and it's just so much fun. I feel like I'm at Disney. Like everyone here is so excited. It's the best.
When they win the final. And
Yes.
they get a little star in the t-shirts.
Very nice. So you guys gonna get one of those T-shirts for yourselves after they win?
My dad.
Your dad. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, two.
Two. You gotta get
One
two.
collector and one to
What
wear.
was the worst thing that happened this football season?
A lot, I don't know where to pick from, but I'd say management meddling with the culture, the winning status, and the lack of consistency. I think my team just bottled it. We had a very good stream mid-season. I don't know where to start from. Was it the defense? Was it the philosophy? It was just the team. I didn't recognize the team no more. We went from beating Barcelona in November, doing pretty good towards the Champions League, and then, mid-table teams, losing 6 games straight and all that. So it really sucked, So I'm glad the season is over, but it was a nightmare. I got to be honest,
It started off so great. You just came
Right.
off the club championship.
Yeah,
I think the firing of the coach probably had a little something to do with that. but
To be honest, it's a cross between the managers, the coaches, because how do we go from winning the damn Conference League, having a very good side that was playing very wonderful football, they were sinking, and then mid-season, it just felt like a pack of cards, you know. It's heartbreaking, you know. It's really heartbreaking. So hopefully with the new Alonso coming in and a lot of players being cut off from the World Cup, you know, they're going to get a lot of rest. Yeah. So we're going to be back with a bang, man. I can tell you for that.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Chelsea to be back with the bang there.
With the
bang. The judge said, oh, you're right, but it's not right.
The VAR, yes, the VAR there. And how about you?
The same.
The same. The VAR. Damn you, VAR.
Man City getting knocked out to UCL. You got to come back to me. I don't know.
Spurs not going down.
That's one for a lot of people.
I agree with them. I actually agree with them.
Spurs not going
West
down.
Ham should have stayed up, you know. So.
What was the worst thing that happened this club season?
The worst thing that the worst
this
thing
past
of this
season. It could be anything. What was the worst thing that happened this club season?
So as soon as the summer kicked in, the AC broke.
That would be.
It was very unfortunate and very terrible. So I apologize with all the customers. But that day was so hot and unbearable. There's a line outside and people have to wait too long, but they still resiliently online. We open the windows and we turn the TV towards the fans outside for the Champions League final, just to make everybody feeling part of something. Nothing really went bad.
No, and I will say the AC is fixed now. For those coming out for the World Cup game, the AC is now on. I feel it's nice and cool in here.
No, just fixed. We bought 2 new ones.
See?
Upgrades.
When this is packed in here, you're still all going to be cool with
the money you
1,000
spend
bodies
in the
in there.
Netherlands are well used. Next is going to be the ceiling because people are, punching the ceiling during the game, which you shouldn't do.
That's the other thing. Don't punch the ceilings at the games. Don't punch the walls at the games.
Yes, please.
Be respectful of the bars.
Also, there's people that live upstairs.
I lived above a bar, the Subway Inn, a long time ago, but that's for another time.
And of course, the Champions League final was PSG against Arsenal. The Gunners winning the Premier League. Terrific. But they really wanted that European hardware, Sean, and big disappointment that day.
That was a really, really tough penalty kicks for them. Congratulations to PSG. There were tons of PSG fans there. And yes, they were dancing on cars in New York City. Not just in Paris, but they were dancing on cars. I did see footage. I wasn't there and witnessed it personally. I saw it all through Instagram. But they were going crazy. It was a great game. It was awesome.
A couple of guys on the Gunners, I think, would like to have their attempts back.
I think Gabriel would like his final kick back. I'm still wondering why Saka didn't go out there, but that's for another time because Arsenal did win the Premier League. It's been over 20 years, and actually a lot of people have differing emotions on whether they are happy or very upset that Arsenal won. What was the best thing of this past club season?
The best thing was definitely overall seeing everything coming back together. It's been 20 years in the making, and everything came back to place. Like a puzzle that we've been building for 20 years, the community, the inclusion, and at the end, the win. But the season worked so well on different levels because my pal Devin, the one with whom I play the games behind the bar, is leaving to Portugal. So I wanted it, when the season started, to be like the end of a chapter, the closing a circle. And, we were wondering, it would be nice to win the league. It would be such a beautiful way to end this. And it happened, so...
It was a tough stretch going into the end.
We almost died multiple times. I have pictures of me on my knees about to puke when there was the review of the West Ham goal. After review. So, we made it.
Now, who is your favorite team? Chelsea, man, coming out here. So are you here rooting against Arsenal, or are you rooting for them?
Hell yeah. London is blue, remember that. London will always be blue, yeah.
I fucking love
it. Yeah, and I'll tell you this, they'll never be champions of Europe, London, Arsenal is never going to be champions of Europe, They never say that.
Yeah, I think Arsenal too, actually, talking about the Champions League. I think Arsenal finally won the league. I feel like they deserve it. hit the crossbar a couple of times last year, the year before. I'm kind of like relieved that they finally won it, you know.
Yeah, just for me, it's always been like trying to keep up with it. That's another thing. My I guess a funny story. A few years ago, my friend in college, he got us into into soccer, and I picked Arsenal randomly. And this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and they were so bad that I stopped watching. And so it's really funny that today I'm at the game and I'm like, I guess Arsenal. I guess they got good in the meantime.
You can jump back on.
Exactly.
You can jump back on. You didn't pick another team, right? You just
no. I haven't officially. Yeah.
So you can say you keep Arsenal. I'm allowed. Definitely.
Okay, cool.
Completely allowed there.
What's the best thing that happened in soccer this season? I'm going to say the return of Keaton Parks and Malachi Jones for New York City FC. Keaton, he's had 3 surgeries over the years to solve blood clots. It's very, very serious stuff. And Malachi, he had that awful full-speed collision in a 2024 match, which resulted in multiple leg fractures requiring surgery, which didn't work the first time, so he had to have a second surgical procedure. They're both back playing, and their impact will be crucial for New York City FC after the World Cup break.
Hey guys, it's the Soccer Sharps, Jordan and Devin here. And Jord, I got to ask you, what was the best thing that happened this soccer season?
Dev, I'm going to have to dip into the Premier League to answer this one. And I honestly think that, and this will be an unpopular opinion, it was Arsenal winning the Premier League title after failing to get it over the line past few seasons. I like the fact that we have 3 different winners in the last 3 seasons in the Premier League. It was starting to look a little dicey there for a while, but now 3 winners in 3 seasons. Well done, Arsenal. So what do you think was the worst thing?
Can I say Arsenal winning the Premier League?
Sure.
No, I'm just
My
kidding.
best thing, your worst thing?
No, happy for them and their fans. Everybody hates their fans in England. I don't totally understand it over here because there's a lot of nice Arsenal fans that I know. But they get a lot of hate across the pond.
Stress is insane, the pressure, the evil banter on social media was on a different level towards the Arsenal. And I'm glad that the Arsenal supporters didn't seek for a revenge when we won, but instead they gathered with each other and they cheer for their own team because we won the league.
That's right. While Arsenal did win the Premier League title, first time in over 20 years, they were on track for winning 4 championships and only came up with 1. And you could say, Man City fans could say, hey, listen, we won 2. We had a better season. So could PSG, who won the Champions League, won the French League, won the French Cup. And so could Inter, who won the Italy Cup, and they also won their Serie A. So I'm not knocking Arsenal. They had a great season. But, Man City deserves some love, too.
Absolutely. And they gave Arsenal a run for their money at the top of the table in the Premier League. But when push comes to shove, they didn't get the trophy. Arsenal did.
A little too late. Thanks to Bournemouth there. But Spencer is going to recap for us the highlights of the Man City season.
Hey guys, it's been a while. Last time we chatted, it was September of last year. Now it's June 2026. It's been quite a ride, to say the least. Obviously, as a City fan, I would say winning the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, doing the domestic double. We didn't expect to win anything. City were up and down. At one point, they were about 9 or 10 points behind Arsenal. We were in 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, something like that. But we saw a huge resilience in this club, and the team really showed what they're made of. Kusanov was a revelation. Nico O'Reilly was unbelievable and was well deserving of the Young Player of the Year award. Ryan Cherky really started to show his stuff. To have won the Carabao Cup against Arsenal really showed that if this team is in a bit of a retooling and we're able to win against them in a cup final and then win against them 1 or 2 weeks later in the Premier League, where so much was on the line, and then winning the FA Cup was the cherry on top, of course. I mean, that's not bad. There's one last thing that I want to mention about the best things about this season. As I mentioned in our chat in September, the New York Sky Blues, the Man City Supporters Club here in New York, are an official nonprofit organization, a 501c3. And I'm very proud to say that we recently gave a check of $20,000 to the New York Common Pantry, which is an incredible organization helping to fight food injustice here in the New York City area.
Yeah, a lot of positives, which is great. But of course, the big negative, the cloud hanging over Man City. Pep Guardiola. Adios.
Adios. A sad day for Man City. Going out on a high note, 2 championships is FA and Caribou is a way to go. But I gotta imagine Man City fans are struggling today or this summer, knowing, hey, he's no longer with us. And will he ever come back to coaching? Who knows?
Doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
Got the whole world in front of him.
He can enjoy life. Good luck out there, Mr. Guardiola. I hope you enjoy yourself.
Come hang out in the city. We know you've done it before.
That's right. Come out and visit us on the Ultra World podcast. But we got a few people who are really in the dumps about Guardiola moving on. What's the worst thing that this past season has shown?
It's a tough one. I would say, because I'm a big fan, even I'm from Brazil, Pep leaving City, I think that was a little sad. Didn't win anything, and then he got to go. So I feel like that was a little sad for him.
It is sad. He's Titanic. I mean, they did win an FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, but it kind of ended
for his legacy. I don't know. Yeah,
he's a genius there. I'm curious to see where he's going to go next. Do you think he's completely done, or do you think he's coming back somewhere else?
No, he's definitely going to be back. Yeah, I wanted him to go to Brazil, but then we got Salatu.
I mean, for me, it has to be the departure of Pep Guardiola. 20 trophies in 10 seasons. He changed the way people look at Manchester City as a football club and the way people play the sport in England. He changed the sport forever in that country. And dare I say, around the world. He took us to heights we never thought were possible, whether it was doing the domestic quadruple, if you're counting the Community Shield, in the 2018-19 season, doing something that's never been done before, 100 points, being Centurions in the 17-18 season, winning 4 straight Premier League trophies. No one else has ever done that. And then, of course, doing the treble in 22-23, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and for the very first time in Manchester City's history, the Champions League. And then right after that, winning the Club World Cup, making us champions not just of Europe, but of the entire world. This was something none of us could have ever imagined in our wildest dreams. So it's really bittersweet, I think, to say goodbye to Pep. I actually flew out to England for Pep's final game, and also to say goodbye to Bernardo and John Stones, 2 incredible players who were there for all of that as well.
And while many people are down about Mr. Guardiola moving on, there are a lot of other really exciting things that happened over the season. The nice thing is the Soccer Sharps, our friends Devin and Jordan, gave us a little overview of how the season went for all the teams across the league. So it's not just one specific team, but just how many teams from England got into the Champions League.
Yeah.
And also, Charlie was very excited that Brentford wasn't relegated, but there was a brief period where Brentford was playing footsie with Europe and not being in there. So, a little bit of ups and downs here across the leagues.
I'm going to dip somewhere else. I'm going to go into the Champions League, and I want to point out Bodo Glimt, tiny team from Norway who made it all the way to the quarterfinals, beating Inter Milan in an incredible 2-legged affair. And I'll tell you, Norwegian football is on the ascendant, Stuart. Well, what do you think was the worst thing that happened this season?
Well, the worst thing, sort of across Europe, really takes place for me again here in the Premier League, and it's that we ended up with 9 teams from the Premier League in Europe for next season. So it's something that happened last season, but it'll be seen next season. 9 teams. It's just too much, especially at the bottom now with the Europa League and in particular the Conference League. It just seems that it's almost impossible for anyone outside of the Premier League to win this thing now when there's a Premier League team in it. such is the financial disparity. And now you don't have the teams dropping down from Champions League and from Europa League into the Conference League. So the whole spirit of the Conference League being set up was to give, smaller nations, smaller clubs a chance to lift some silverware. And now the Premier League clubs are in it, and it's all but certain that they're going to win it.
That's right. They have won every iterance of the Conference League so far. Or no, the first year Roma won it under
Right.
Jose Mourinho. But every other time it has been Premier League clubs, and it's to that wealth gap that just keeps on widening. The worst thing that happened, can I just say once again that it was all 5 big leagues in Europe, the favorites won outright. There just wasn't enough drama at the end. There's always drama in the relegation fight and the Champions League and European League places for the next season. But without any drama or like a fun underdog story, I guess Arsenal would be the one, but they were still favorites at the beginning of the season. So hard to say that they were an underdog, but they did get it over the line.
Yeah, that's a good one. We did have some compelling title races for a while. Ligue 1 was interesting. Lens really made a push there. And the Prem did go on pretty much till the end, but it was really a 2-horse race for a while. And Real Madrid were way off it in La Liga. But, if they had won it, it wouldn't have been any more compelling.
The worst thing that happened? The defending in Major League Soccer. Juvenile, shambolic, individual errors that defy logic. So I sardonically put a post up on social media suggesting that I'll be running a course during the World Cup break in 3 parts: Technical Defending 101, Organization in Defense, and Set Piece Defending.
The worst thing about this past season for Brentford probably is missing out on Europe. Even though the season as a whole was decent, finishing in the top half, the fact that we had 5 consecutive draws against some opponents that we really should have beaten, all we needed to do was win one of those, and we would have qualified for European competition. So if I had to pick a negative from this past season, it probably would be that. But everybody was saying we'd have a doomsday season going into the campaign. And so big picture, it really wasn't that bad of a season, but still, the fact that we were that close to Europe was a little bit of a bitter taste at the end of the campaign.
Well, the season is sadly over. Usually you'd have the whole summer to go, I can't wait for soccer to happen. But we got the World Cup.
Yeah.
We got the World Cup, not just the Knicks winning, but the World Cup is here. Not really in New York, but everyone says it's here.
Well, it is New York, New Jersey Stadium. It's not New Jersey, New York Stadium, even though it's in New Jersey.
That's true. For $98, you can get out there and then pay for a $500 ticket. So who are you picking for the World Cup? Who do you think's going to do well?
I've had France from the get-go. No reason to jump off that bandwagon now.
All right, I'm switching up. I didn't really take one, but I'm leaning Portugal. I think Ronaldo follows up Messi.
Yeah.
I think Ronaldo is willing to take a back seat and share with this dynamite Portugal team. And I think they shock everybody. I'd like to see a new team win the World Cup.
It would be interesting. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be interesting.
They're going to score, Giancarlo Ramos, maybe he'll get a little thing. Bruno Fernandes, assist king of the Premier League. They have a fantastic team, a great coach. And we also asked a lot of other people who they thought were going to win the World Cup, what they're looking forward to, from Glenn Crooks to the Soccer Sharps to a bunch of fans out at Legends. And let's hear what they have to say. Who are you rooting for in the World Cup and why?
Obviously, the United States. Being a former U.S. men's national team player and going through the ranks of every youth national team stage in my whole entire youth career, and debuting with the men's team, I think all of us here, with the backing of the fandom and the fan base, and just the excitement that we have around what the World Cup is going to be for all of us. So I think every single one of us Americans need to come together and really give them a massive push and get into those final stages, and then see what the world holds from there.
And what player do you think has to have the best World Cup for the U.S. to advance out of the group stage?
I think Christian, all eyes and all the pressure is on Christian Pulisic. I think, and deservingly so. It's, I think, if you talk about the pressure that's put on that not so young man's shoulders anymore, he's a veteran of the team now. It's been, now close to a decade of him now representing the badge. So, I think all the pressure is on him in the best way possible. I think he has earned that pressure in terms of playing Champions League games week in, week out, playing at the highest stage for so long, and just being able to carry this country into those final stages will be an immense responsibility, but one that I'm sure he's looking forward to.
So my pick to win the World Cup, I've got to go with the obvious, France. Their depth in the attack, their defensive organization under Didier Deschamps should get them to the final. And if it goes to penalties, my guess is Deschamps will be better equipped than he was in 2022 in Qatar against Argentina in the final. Videos showed that Deschamps, his staff, and his players were visually disorganized and unprepared for the moment in 22. Allons enfants de la patrie. Well, you get the idea. France it is.
It's got to be Brazil, man. It's got to be Brazil, because I'm a big fan of free-flowing football, So the Brazilians, they bring that flair, all right? No other team brings that, So plug in, tune in for very wonderful football, man. Brazil got it.
You got Neymar's back. Neymar's going to show up, or you think it's the other guy?
But that injury, I don't think he's going to be too much of a, but the kid from Bournemouth, yeah. Ryan, Ryan there, He's be on the lookout for him, He had a pretty good run with Bournemouth and the new coach, so let's see what he has,
For the friends. Of course, friends. We lived in USA, but we are French, so we are for the friends.
I'm really excited. There's a lot of great games. I'm excited just to go out and have fun. I'm going to one of the fan zones for the U.S.-Australia game, and then I think the Portugal-Colombia game is like the game I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
Just seeing those two teams and those two great players face off. But yeah, I'm just really excited to go out to the fan zones and have some fun.
Brazil until the day I die, since I was born, and because I'm Brazilian, carrying the jersey everywhere I go, every possible place I go on earth, I'm Brazilian, and I'm Corinthians too.
Corinthians, and which player is going to step up for Brazil this year?
Neymar.
Yeah. You heard it there.
We're the underdogs now. Everybody said he was not going to be called up. He got called up, and I don't know if you know, his first goal ever for Brazil was at MetLife Stadium, right around here. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, that was his first goal for Brazil. And guess where the final is going to be?
It's going to be in the Meadowlands there. It's Kismet there.
First and last game, let's go.
For France, of course. And I hope they will win.
Personally, Ecuador. I like the players on Ecuador, and I got a lot of family friends in Ecuador.
Okay.
I'm personally from India, so it's like I don't have India representing me.
Yeah,
so
Ecuador's total zag too. I did not expect that one.
They got Cansado and then Valencia as well.
He is excellent. How about you?
I want Brazil to win.
Okay.
Classic. Brazil.
Spain.
Yamal.
You got to go with your team there. Barcelona's your team there.
Shall we switch to World Cup mode?
That's right. Let's look forward to the World Cup because the club season is in the past and we turn to the world's largest sporting event. It's going to be awesome, Jord, but we're going to put you on the spot here. Who do you have to win it outright? Who do you got?
Well, while I'm rooting for, of course, the USMNT and the Three Lions of England, and have a little vested interest in some smaller teams like Japan, Turkey, Senegal. I'd like to see them do well. The team I think is going to win it, kind of going out on a limb here, but I arrive with them in the final with all of my simulations for this thing, and that is the Netherlands.
Whoa.
Nederlander. Yeah.
Love that.
I just think they're really stout from front to back. Maybe if you do have to pick out a weakness, it's that attack. They don't have like a proper striker up there. But, Daniel Malin's been incredible goal scoring form. Memphis Depay likes to show up in this tournament, so maybe he can turn the clock back a little. I know Ronald Koeman gets a lot of criticism, but, they've been there or thereabouts under him and under other managers recently as well. Like they were just like a whisker away from beating Argentina at the last World Cup. If they had won that shootout, who knows? Maybe they end up in the final and they're hoisting the trophy. So, I think they're stout enough, and the path is relatively favorable if things go the way we kind of think they will in terms of favorites to win groups and stuff. I think they've got a decent shot at it. So I'll go with Netherlands to be a little more creative. What about you, Deb?
I think that's a great shout, Jordan, and a bit of an underdog pick. If you guys are looking for underdog picks, sleepers, betting, be sure to check out our show, The Soccer Sharps. We're doing a special for the World Cup. It's called Capping the Cup, but you can find it anywhere you get podcasts or on YouTube, so be sure to check us out. Well, Jordan, I'm going to go chalk. I got to go chalk here. I'm going to go with Spain. La Roja. I just think when they're healthy, they're the most dominant team that I've seen in international play. You can't get the ball off them. They're so difficult to play against, so technical, and it starts in the way that they've trained up their academies in the country of Spain. They don't care how big players are, how physical they are. They want technical players on the ball who can control it in tight spaces, and that's what you see them do. Pedri, probably the most key player for them. He really links up everything in that midfield. Impossible to get the ball off this guy. And the element that they added in the last Euros that we talked about was being able to play out wide. They've always had this sort of tiki-taka play through the middle against you where they just like paper cut you to death with a million passes. But teams could fare against them with a really strong low block or mid block. But now, if you're going to stop them coming through the center, they can play the ball out wide, and you do not want to be one-on-one against Mr. Lamine Yamal or Nico Williams on the other side. They can beat anyone one-on-one, some of the best one-on-one dribblers in the game. And with that added dimension, I just don't see anybody beating Spain. Health aside, though, because we know Yamal picked up an injury, messed up his hamstring, but I think they should cruise their group and then be able to hopefully get him back for the later rounds when they might need him.
Right on, Dev. I think that's a sound pick. Both of us taking picks from Europe. Who would have thought a European betting show arriving at European picks to win the World Cup?
Obviously, the U.S. men's national team. I've known actually a handful of these guys since they were teenagers. I worked for the U.S. Soccer Federation in their communications department, and so the likes of Kristen Pulisic and Tyler Adams and Haji Wright, I've seen all those guys with the U.S. U17s, their development academy. So I kind of am taking this World Cup personally because these are supposed to be like the golden darlings of the generation, and I've seen them come along the whole way. So I do have a big rooting interest. I would like to see them minimally get to the quarterfinals. They have a lot riding this year. A lot of eyes are on them because it's a lot of players that play for big clubs, big leagues, and they play really well, and a nice style of football and everything. So I want to see them go really far, and that's going to be my main focus. Certainly, the other rooting interests I have was Thiago in Brazil for representing Brentford just a few months ago. He wasn't even really on the radar, and it's just a nice story. A guy who, as a kid, lost his father as a teenager, was a true working man kind of story growing up. And to be able to see how this season has gone for him has been unbelievable. And I just hope it carries over into the World Cup and he does something special for Brazil. And the last rooting interest, I would say, is the England national team because there are 4 players, either current Brentford or former Brentford, who are on the roster. And even though Brentford's been around for a long time as a club, I can't imagine they've ever had this type of connection on the national team level. So, I'm going to be looking at the World Cup in a few different lenses, obviously with the U.S. at the forefront, but it should be an exciting tournament.
Who are you rooting for in the World Cup and why?
I'm very torn. Listen, I have a couple, my son also has some different teams than I do. There will always have a soft spot for the U.S. team. I will maybe say Germany, in part because I got him tickets to the Germany game.
Oh, nice.
So, I think we're going to be, I think we may be rooting for that.
Okay, last question here. Who are you rooting for in this World Cup and why? And can even be a player.
Italy.
Oh, no. I'll give you a hug there.
Why? Why you guys are laughing? What?
What's good?
Okay.
Next year. We're talking not 2030.
Come on, man.
When Calafiore brings it
Again,
back.
third time in a row. I don't know, man. I'm just really for soccer. Hey, go,
How about, is there a
go
player?
team.
Is there a player you're rooting for to have a good World Cup?
I mean, no.
No?
I have some love for Spain, France. Not even Ireland is in there. So as an Irish bar, Italy and Ireland, but France and Spain, I just like how they play.
Yeah.
The individuality. If they can get together as a team, because for example, Brazil is lacking in that.
Yeah.
And then when they got to the pitch all together, it's like everybody plays for themselves. If they can get together, it would be the perfect final at least. France, Spain.
It'd be an excellent
That would
final.
be nice.
And Yamal will be back and healthy.
Yeah.
Mbappe, whatever's going on with him, will be
so
good to go.
that would be for the sake of the sport itself. And Juan stresses it all the time. He doesn't have his own team. And he says it all the time, I really like to watch the sport itself. And it's very pure sentiment, although as a Frenchman, I believe you might want.
I'm going to lean into here. Ameline, who are you rooting for?
Of course, my heart is with France because I'm French, but I agree. I'm a spectator. I want to see a good game. I want to see people fight, be creative, nice goals. If it's Portugal playing like that, I'll be a fan of Portugal. Of course, I would love France to win, but I don't like being favorite.
Yeah.
It puts extra pressure on the team, and we never handle it really well.
Which player are you most intrigued by in this World Cup that you're waiting to see what statement they make?
I can't wait to see Olise, the French player, during the competition.
Yeah.
And I'm also very curious about is Mbappe holding and he's going to finally come out of the cage for the games, or is he overcooked and overrated?
This is a big World Cup for him, especially after Real Madrid kind of imploded at the end there.
It's a lot of pressure. I can't wait to see him. We've seen in the preparing games, he hasn't played much, he hasn't been involved too much. I think he was playing super safe.
Okay.
And he's mentally preparing, I'm hoping, to unleash for those games. Now we'll see, maybe he doesn't have it anymore and Olise is going to pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really hoping that we see vintage Mbappe there,
Me
because the
too.
World Cup
I
will
want
be
to
better.
see it. And I think he still got it and he's going to deliver at one point, but he
went
will
to
not be the superstar he was in the previous one, I would doubt.
Obviously, I'm rooting for all the Man City players to do well. They are the team that are most represented in this year's World Cup. 17 overall. 20 if you include Manuel Akanji, the Swiss defender who was on loan to Inter Milan this past season. He won the Scudetto with them. And then, of course, John Stones and Bernardo Silva, who just left the club. Now, personally, because I'm a dual citizen of the Czech Republic, I'm rooting for Czechia to do well. The way that they qualified was just wild. Today is the first day of this World Cup. But here in New York, there's something a little more important right now, and that's Knicks in 5, baby. Knicks in 5. We're doing it. Isn't that right? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Knicks in 5, baby. Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5.
If you'll notice in that little mashup there, we have former U.S. men's national team player Greg Garza. Giving us his pro-USA stance. And we got Jason from the Paley Center. The Paley Center's got a great event going on throughout the World Cup. We went there, recorded. Did you know that they're having every single World Cup game played in their theater?
That's cool, but the Paley Center is literally cool. I remember being there for the Mike Francesa retirement show the first time he retired from WFAN, and it was hot as blazes outside, but like a refrigerator inside the Paley Center. It's like a cooling center.
Exactly.
But you get to watch the World Cup, too.
Perfectly air-conditioned. You get to watch the games. No alcohol, which is probably a good thing.
That's okay.
And go out there and have some fun. So everyone, this is the end of our show here for this one, but you got to get out there and watch some World Cup games because it's really fun. New York City is alive. The Knicks won. World Cup is going on. People are going crazy here. Get out there and find your football family.
Find your football family. Find us on all the social media channels. And when you come back next week, maybe you'll find me. I'd like to be here, Sean Castles. That is Sean. I'm Marc Renee. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time, or catch you next time. Maybe.
This has been the Ultra World Podcast, the soccer fan's voice from the stands, with your hosts, Marc Renee and Sean Castles. Our executive producer is Sue Zizza. Marc Renee and Sean Castles are co-producers. David Shin is our master engineer. Assistant producer Avery Gehrig, and I'm Alicia Antwine. To be a guest on the Ultra World Podcast or learn all about sponsorship opportunities, send an email to ultraworldpod@gmail.com. Be sure to follow the show on all the social media platforms at Ultra World Pod. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved, Ultra World Podcast, LLC.